People, it's the 27th of February. Welcome to Newspaper Breakdown. I hope we're all fine. I have a number of stories for today, so that should be fun. We'll start with potential political corruption, which is always the most fun place to start. Former Trade Secretary Liam Fox has been criticised for lobbying the government on behalf of a business group that pays him £1,000 an hour. Fox is the chairman and commissioner of Global Britain Commissions. Whose members include representatives from UK Finance, which is a banking industry group, Coutts, the private bank, Heathrow, Virgin Atlantic, and others. The commission is expected to pay him £6,000 for 6 hours work, which is good if you can get it. And that's work over 6 months. So either he is fan-fucking-tastic at his job, or the fact that he's an MP and has the ear to Sunak is a very useful thing worth paying for. Could be either. Could be either. In his role as commissioner of the group, Fox wrote an open letter to the PM pressing for an export tax credit, which is a tax break for exporters, as well as a merger between the Department of Business and the Department of Trade, which Sunak did last month, which was bloody nice of him. Either it's great minds, absolute great minds thinking alike, or Sunak has listened to Fox's lobbying. Fox, although hasn't broken any rules, it does look a lot like he's being paid to lobby, which, should we say, isn't kosher? No, not tickety-boo. It's the continuation of why we need to stop people, for MPs, from having second jobs, really. We have to stop it. It's quite obvious, but you're not going to do that without getting rid of the current government, are you? So anyway, next story is on the Justice Secretary, Dominic Raab. He has brought in new rules banning transgender women convicted of violent offences from being placed in women's prisons. This is an extension of the rules that were announced in October that banned trans women with a male genitalia or that had committed sexual offences from being placed in women's prisons in England and Wales. Now, very much understand, it is what we call a delicate subject. So you can have whatever fucking opinions you like. It doesn't matter. Personally, I think it's absolutely fine. But you can think different, can't you? So, the oil and gas trade body, which is the Offshore Energy UK, has said that companies are scaling back from the North Sea operations and prioritising investment outside of the UK due to the government windfall taxes. They said that 95% of the members surveyed had been negatively impacted by the levy and were looking to invest elsewhere, adding this leaves the UK reliant on overseas imports and puts the UK energy security at risk. Boo-hoo, these greedy fucks. The levy was introduced last year to tax more of the profits that oil and gas companies had made on the deaths of innocent Ukrainians as they continue to work to destroy the fucking planet. But boo-hoo them, boo-hoo. It's I'm not for violence. I think violence begets violence, but a cheeky backhand to the oil and gas CEOs never seems like a bad idea. Oh, you're taxing us. Yeah, you're making money off of the fucking extinction of humanity, for fuck's sake. The government raised the levy, bringing the total tax on the sector to 75%, but there is also generous investment incentives that allow a 91p tax saving for every £1 invested in the UK. So you don't pay tax on that 91p for every pound you actually invest, which means that the tax you're paying on is a lot less, isn't it? But, fuck them. It's the answer. Fuck them. All oil and gas companies, they are scum. Next, Ofgem. Oh, we're carrying on with energy. Ofgem has cut the amount a supplier can charge households for energy. However, this doesn't mean that your bills are going to go down. In fact, they're going to increase, because fuck you too. Ofgem's announcement does not directly affect what consumers will pay, but does reduce the costs faced by the government. The typical household bill for gas and electricity will rise to £3,000 a year in April. The reason that it will rise from £2,100 to £3,000 in April is because the government's help, which is the energy price guarantee, will become less generous, and the £400 winter discount on all bills ends. Government currently compensates energy suppliers with the difference between the guarantee and Ofgem's cap. In January, the cap was 4,279, but today Ofgem announced that the drop will go to 3,280 in April because of falling wholesale prices. Of course, many people think that the government shouldn't stop helping people to pay for their energy in the current cost of living and energy crisis that we have. But as the government likes to point out, where's the money coming from? Rah-de-rah-de-rah, rah-de-rah-de-rah. I've still got to give money to my friends, rah-de-rah-de-rah. It's just madness. The prices go down, yet your energy prices go up. It's fucking just beautiful work by the government. That is fucking exceptional cruelty. It's like pure, uncut Colombian cruelty. Fucking capitalism at its fucking finest. According to evidence from a Panorama investigation, more than a third of crisis pregnancy advice centres in the UK are giving misleading information, misleading medical information, or unethical advice to women. Sometimes both, for a bit of fun, Sometimes we'll give you misleading medical advice and unethical advice, because it's always nice to remember women are a bunch of cunts as well. To other women as well. Oh, you would have thought that working for equality you would have got together, but oh no, you stay in your fucking lane and don't you have freedom of your own body. Beautiful. I do love how absolutely messed up humanity is. It's one of the reasons I just want to get rid of it, because it just seems, it's just true. There's no way of putting this puzzle together, I don't think. So just I can wipe it out and just get a simpler puzzle. The centres operate outside of the NHS and tend to be registered as charities, which of course they do, because the majority of charities are bastards as well. Abortions have been legal in England and Scotland and Wales for 50 years, came in legal in Northern Ireland just the other year. These vultures at these crisis centres, these subhuman parasitic fuckknuckles, like to tell women that if they have an abortion, it could lead to post-abortion syndrome, which is a mental health condition similar to PTSD, which isn't something that is recognised by the NHS because it's horseshit. They've linked abortions to infertility and problems carrying future pregnancies to term, and linked abortions to increased risk of breast cancer. NHS, of course, said that didn't happen. As with all medical procedures, there is a small danger. That's what happens with all fucking things. You could get a toe removed and something could go wrong and you could die. That's just the thing with medical treatments. However, these pregnancy crisis groups are just making shit up. You may as well say, oh yes, if you get an abortion, then there's a chance that you'll fucking only ever, have lukewarm tea. That's what it does. It gives you lukewarm tea, and every biscuit you're given is a rich tea. And that's your life now, because you've had an abortion. Just shit tea and shit rich tea biscuits. That's it. It's medically proven. Fucking bastards. For all of this, we want freedom. People love to take it away from each other. They want for equality. I want to take it away from each other. It's fucking... Anyway, few stories left. The all-party parliamentary group on brain tumours. I just bring you the fun stuff, don't I? The all-party parliamentary group on brain tumours have found that after a 2-year inquiry, the ministers spent only £15 million in 5 years on research to tackle brain tumours, which is the biggest killer of adults under 40. Whilst boasting about how they actually delivered 40 million, and they didn't. The report said that the research system is unfit for purpose. Patients are denied access to clinical trials, and families were let down by lies about millions of pounds of investment. The then Health Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, because of course it would be him, wouldn't it, announced the first of two £20 million brain tumour research investments in 2018, but £25 million of it never materialised. And of the £15 million that was awarded, £6 million is not easily identifiable as relevant to brain tumours. So it could be fucking anywhere. We could be seeing how many fruit pastels it takes to choke a kestrel, for all we fucking know. That is, after 5 years, there has been no new treatments, with survival chances for patients still poor. Brain tumours had only received 1% of the total national spend on cancer research since records began, which is fucking crazy. It is the biggest killer for adults under 40. It gets 1% of all the fucking money. How have we found inequality in fucking cancer research? Is brain tumours not sexy enough? Is it not one of the sexy organs? I always understood that people find brains the sexiest. Surely there would be fucking more. And if you look at the amount of research on things like lung cancer and all of this shit that comes from our own screwing of ourselves, you don't get a fucking brain tumour because you're smoking. Oh, fucking actually, say that. Not a clue, not a doctor. Maybe you do. Maybe that rant was pointless. Who knows? Ridiculous. Anyway, next story. A report by the New Economics Forum, which is a left-wing think tank. So, the same as that we deal with right-wing think tanks, we also have to consider here tiny pinch of salt. It has said that Sunak's government are hiding £28 billion of stealth cuts to public services over the next 5 years, warning that Hunt's Austerity 2.0 would further damage the country's economy. So when I originally say pinch of salt, there's always a chance that when you're bringing in austerity, you are going to fuck the economy, and there is going to be a lot of hidden stuff, because that's what happens. The NEF report showed that Hunt's spending plans outlined in the autumn statement in November included cuts to public services worth £1,000 per household by 2027 to 2028. Hunt promised to increase spending by 1% a year after inflation, which sounds fucking lovely. Sounds nice, sounds really good, sounds beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But this is underpinned by the Office of Budget Responsibility's forecast, which had assumed inflation would fall below zero. Just let the sound of London go past. The issue with the Office of Budget Responsibility forecasting inflation falling below zero is that the Bank of England would be expected to keep inflation at close to 2%, because that's one of the rules that the Bank of England has to go through. It's its target rate. And if it did that, then the 1% of growth would actually be a 1% of negative growth, or cuts, in real terms, which is around 28 billion. So you see where the NEF is getting their figures from, by counting and whatnot, and listening to what Hunt says. Austerity is awful, austerity is wrong. It's never worked, it's not going to work, you know. It's like capitalism or socialism. It's only people who like it are nutters. A report by the all-party parliamentary group on commercial sexual exploitation. What a fucking turn from austerity to this. What a madness. So a report by the all-party parliamentary group on commercial sexual exploitation has called for the government to change the law to tackle the harms caused by adult materials, to help with the epidemic of male violence against women, with a substantial proportion of mainstream porn featuring physical aggression, physically aggressive behaviour by men against women, and extensive evidence that consuming porn fuels sexual violence and influences viewers' behaviour, as well as perpetuating racist stereotypes. It says the upcoming online safety bill, which does not do enough to address the availability of harmful pornographic content to adults. It adds that illegal pornography, such as child abuse and rape, is still detected on popular adult sites. There is a lot that we have to do to stop the quite rightly said epidemic of male violence against women. If one of the things is properly regulating porn, then that's one of the things that we have to do. There's very little else to say about that, but we're on the final story now. I know that the light has been off and on, but there's very little I can do about the sun. Also, I know I should have a backing and all of this to make it look professional, but I don't fucking want to. If you're only able to watch this owing to some fucking green screen I've got behind me instead of the actual news I'm talking about, then it's a pointless exercise anyway. You may as well be up here shaking fucking keys going, boo Tories, you pointless bores. So, fuck it. Anyway, final story. And this is an interesting story, actually. Another one of my upbeat, happy-go-lucky stories. The Joseph Rowntree Foundation and the Trussell Trust have called for changes in the law to fix the failing welfare system after research revealed that the basic benefits to low-income households are at least £140 a month below the real cost of food, energy and everyday basics. The UK's leading poverty charities claimed that this was a driving factor in the explosion of destitution and food bank use in the last few months, and has called for the universal credit to be moved in line with minimum living costs. Wouldn't that be a truly revolutionary idea? Hey, I don't have enough money to live. Do not worry, we're going to give you all of the money that you need to live. That's not enough money. Fuck you, poor boy. Fuck you. Greedy. You're all greedy. You're all so greedy. Greedy. Looking for enough money to actually survive. They should know their places, shouldn't they? You know, the people who have been unlucky. The two charities have calculated the weekly cost of a basic existence, which is a fucking depressing sentence, by the by. Calculated the weekly cost of a basic existence to be £120 for a single adult and £200 for a couple. That is based on a basket of goods and services, including food, energy, travel, mobile phone, and internet use, as well as things like toothpaste and washing up liquid. Universal credit allowance in April goes up by 10.1%. Will be £85 for a single adult and £134 for a couple, which is less than the numbers I said earlier. The value of benefits has fallen to a 40-year low in real terms as a result of freezes and cuts, so it's always good to remember when someone says they get too much, they always get too much. Why don't they just work? Why don't they just work? It's always nice to remind them that the benefits that they get in real terms is actually much less than it was 40 years ago. So you're getting exactly what you want, you greedy, scummy bastard. This, of course, is leading to rampant fuel insecurities, children turning up to school hungry, and disabled people risking their health as they cannot afford energy bills. Due to monthly caps and benefit deductions, the reality is that more than half of the households on universal credit get less than the £85 a week, with an adult facing deductions typically seeing their basic rate drop to £64 a week. The issue why this will never come to where maybe kind-hearted people wanted, so that universal credit does go in line with the minimum basic fucking existence, is that it would cost £20 billion a year, and no major party will touch it for that amount of money, because if they say, oh, we're going to spend £20 billion extra on welfare, people won't vote for them, because we are a bunch of greedy, selfish, self-centered diseases, really. So, oh, that's enough. So, catch you later. Bye.